Hi guys, I'm going to talk about reducing problem behaviors through good academic management. There are 10 strategies that are available on the Intervention Central website. The first one is make sure that the work is not too easy and not too difficult. If the work is too easy, they'll fly right through it. If it's too hard, they may not begin it at all and choose to act out as an avoidance behavior. The second tip is offer frequent opportunities for choice. If they're given several choices from what assignment to choose, they will feel more in control of their education and their learning and may want to or be more motivated by the project. The third tip is choose high interest or functional learning activities. Kids are more motivated when the activity is linked to something that they are very interested in. For example, I have a classroom of students with autism and they all really love trains. So one of the activities I did for fractions was to have a set of train cars, and some were colored blue, some were colored green. They had to tell me what fraction of the cars were either blue or green, and they were motivated by it because they really like trains. The fourth tip is instruct students at a brisk pace. It's a myth that special education students need a slower and less demanding pace. If it's slower, there's more room for them to act out and misbehave. They'll become bored and distracted. The fifth tip is structure lessons to require student involvement. When a student is required to just sit there and listen to a lecture, they're more likely to act out again. If they're involved, there's no time for them to misbehave. The sixth tip is incorporate cooperative learning opportunities into instruction. As I said before, when they lecture, there's a higher chance for misbehaviors to occur, and they benefit from being placed in groups and structured activities. The seventh tip is give frequent teacher feedback and encouragement. Sometimes we forget to do this, but it's really important for a kid that is acting out and misbehaving. It's important that you do give them positive feedback when they're doing something right. For example, I have two students in my class. One gets strikes for snack, so they get something taken away, but one of the other students, he earns Angry Birds on a chart in order to get something that he wants. So he earns what he wants through good behaviors. It's easier for me, I find, to give a strike and bad behavior than it is for me to recognize when a child is listening and doing good. So it's a little harder, but we have to remember to do it. It's very important. The eighth tip is provide correct models during independent work. An example of this would be giving the students an example of a completed assignment so they know what is expected and what they should be doing. This will give them an idea. They'll know exactly what they have to do, and there's no excuse for misbehavior. The ninth tip is be consistent in managing the academic setting. Set rules from the get-go and stick to them. If you don't stick to them, they will notice. You make sure that you enforce the rules and that the consequences always the same. The 10th tip is target interventions to coincide closely with the point of performance. This means that if you're targeting a specific behavior, make sure the child's reward is immediate. If it's later in the day that they would get the reward, or even next week, the student will easily forget it, especially with special education students. Like I said, the student I have that earns computer with the Angry Birds, as soon as he gets the last Angry Bird that he needs on the chart, he goes right to computer, because especially with disabled students, they will forget what they did that was good, and so it's important that you reward them right away. So that's my video. Thank you.